So, कैसा लगा Volvo का वीडियो? Anyway, now moving forward, last point, I think, and like I told you earlier, I think this is the most fun and most creative that as a marketer you can be. How can social media be used as a tool for you to become a part of a cultural conversation? पॉप कल्चर में हम लोग कितनी चीजें सुनते रहते हैं, जैसे कोई एक वायरल एक मीम था जो which becomes immensely viral, like for example when the Oscars incident happened and Will Smith slapped someone on the Oscar stage, that became immensely viral, right? So this is how, of course, this was not done by a brand or an organization. This was something that actually made a person who made that meme viral. So I think social media really has that power today. We already know how influencers today are actually leveraging and making this as a source of income for them to succeed and to partner with various brands they want to work with. So there are enough and many ways to monetize social media and to use it to your benefit. But the third point that we're going to talk about is not how you use social media to your benefit, but actually how social media can drive positive impact in the lives of people who matter to you, in the lives of your customers, or generally just driving a positive social impact around you. And I think with that, I'm going to drive straight into our third case study. Now, this one is not by any famous brand, like you probably won't have even heard of it, but it's by the Metro Corporation. Interestingly, and now here again, the customer insight is very, very important. Here, the insight was that younger people don't really pay a lot of importance to, PSAs. When I say PSA, it means like public service announcements. So basically think about it. जब आप लोग कभी metro use करते हो, or if you go to a train station, or if you're at an airport, how often is it that we are paying attention to what's being said or what's being announced? Half the times we have our AirPods on and we're really disconnected from the world. And this is what, all of these corporations, like the Metro Corporation in particular in the United States, felt was a big, big problem. How do they convey their safety message to the younger generation who was not willing to hear? And here is what they felt, that even though being like a public corporation, how can we really make ourselves exciting and reinvent ourselves to be able to connect with the younger target group? And what is the answer to that? I think by now you all know that anytime I ask a question, the answer is social media. So here also they leveraged social media to create a campaign that was visually exciting, something that had a bit of virality, and viral it became. Now here, this one was done by the Metro Corporation, like I said. The insight being that customers were not listening to them, or at least the younger customers were not listening to them. So what they did was, they actually created a public service announcement. They got a musician, like a band together. They created this song called Dumb Ways to Die. And they had these very cute animal, caricatures who were shown dying in the most hilarious of manners. Interestingly, once this campaign was launched, it actually crossed over 20 million views on YouTube within the first week alone. And within 6 weeks, it had already crossed 42 million views. That's the power of social media. That's how really something which can be seen as a very, very boring message can suddenly become so exciting that people not only in the United States but all over the world were tuning in and wanting to listen to this song. And I think the biggest impact was that this actually became a pop culture movement. All across the world, there were multiple graffitis coming up, there were different installations coming up. In fact, in the US, a lot of schools actually adopted this as a part of their teaching curriculum. And this is the kind of impact that social media can drive on a social, for a social cause, or on a larger platform for your consumers or for the audiences. And very, very interestingly, I think the most important statistic that personally amazed me when I read up more about the campaign was that it actually led to a reduction of 21% in accidents and deaths caused by the usage of metros. This truly is what makes social media beautiful. It can actually has the potential to make the world a better place. I know a lot of times, and these days even more so, people talk about the health impacts, the psychological impacts, the kind of impact that it's causing in all generations all around us. But this truly is a beautiful example of how social media can actually be leveraged for something so incredibly positive that can actually help save lives. And without further ado, I want you to watch this short clip that we put together for this very, very beautiful campaign. Again, something very, very close to my heart. I hope you like it.
Young people don't listen to public safety messages. So how do you get them to stop being unsafe around trains? By making it the dumbest way to die.
Dumb ways to die. So many dumb ways to die. Dumb ways to die. So many dumb ways to die.
A song was written called Dumb Ways to Die. It was released as a YouTube video and within a week had over 20 million views, and within 6 weeks over 40 million views. Gift sharing from our dedicated Tumblr site generated huge and immediate viral effect and helped the campaign stay on the front page of Reddit for 2 days after the launch. Within days, Dumb Ways to Die became the world's most shared video. The song was released on iTunes and climbed the charts in over 20 countries, and in some countries even making the top 10. Awareness went through the roof, but we had to get people to change their behaviour. So every element of the campaign directly drove people to pledge to be safe around trains. Nearly 1 million people took the pledge on our website. The little book of Dumb Ways to Die got kids to pledge at the website. Outdoor advertising, designed to generate Instagram-friendly content, got people to promise to be safe. And a smartphone game also got people to make the promise. The results? People adopted the message like never before. Over 200 cover versions and parodies were made and shared in the millions. Schools started using it as a teaching tool in classrooms. Dumb Ways to Die became the most shared and most viral public service campaign in history. And most important of all, the Metro has seen a 21% reduction in accidents and deaths compared to the same time last year.
Be safe around trains, a message from Metro.